Okay, so this is IFMS 2.
Yes.
It's very similar to IFMS 1. I think you guys will pick up quite quickly. But first off, I just quickly want to run through the process. So you guys capture the labels. You guys receive it on floor. Well, do you guys receive labels here as well?
Yes.
So if do the clients bring the cargo in here? They deliver it, or do you guys do collections?
We do collections.
You do collections. Okay. So the cargo comes here, you guys capture the labels, or
Yes.
whoever captures the labels gets put on floor, transfer manifest, goes out on the way. What's it? You do a label receipt at the here. And then, as you say, you do floor check,
Yes.
then delivery manifest, and then when the PODs come back, you guys do that process. Okay.
And open new accounts.
Okay, so
For
you guys
new clients.
open new accounts as well. Okay, who does that?
It's me.
Everybody
It's me.
or
It's
only
me.
you?
Yeah.
Okay,
And table allocation.
okay, right tables.
Yeah.
Those are a bit more complicated. I will handle that with you, and you can maybe one or two other people just in case one day you're not here,
All right.
or
Okay.
so we can do that in another thing.
All right.
Firstly, I want to show you how the label capture, how the layout of the system looks.
Yeah.
We have all the documents that you can create with the system. You can find here under File, New. So there's account, label, delivery manifests. All the documents that you can create is all in one place.
You go in file.
Yes. So File, New, and there you can create new documents.
Okay. File, new. Create new documents.
Yes. Then also, if you want to open an existing file, like
Yeah.
you have a label already, you want to
Yeah.
open an
Yes,
old one.
like tracing a label.
Yes. You go under Home. There's a document search, and that opens a tab here on the right.
Okay.
Now, one of the nice things about this is you can do a search on a label,
Yeah.
and then you can enter the label number there. But this search window is how can I put it? Is kind of on top of the other one. Meaning, for example, let's just search there. You instead of with an old IFMS, you have to open, put the label number,
Yeah.
and it opens the label. Then you have to open label number, open label number. With this one, you can do your search, and you can just double click, and it opens all of them in tabs up there. So it's a lot faster interface wise. Also, you'll see that that Windows automatically disappeared now because you're not using it anymore. It sits there, and the moment you hover, it brings it back. So it's not in your way. The moment you click away from it, it disappears. So we put that in specifically to make things faster and easier. Okay, so let's just quickly run through creating a new label. The rest of the stuff there at the top, I'll discuss as we go along. But the basics is just how to how to create a new document, and how to open an old existing document. Okay. So let's create a new label. Okay. Click here. Document number. Let's just quickly make something up. You guys get most of this. The interface is exactly the same as, well, not exactly the same, but the concepts are the same as IFMS 1. So let's just make up a document number here. 001 account example client. I can't remember how it worked on IFMS 1, but this. Did you guys have this drop-down menu in IFMS 1? On the okay, so that works the same. Another thing I just quickly want to also show you is let's find one. With this drop-down menu, you can, when you're creating accounts, you can create alerts that will come up like that one. When there's specific information that you want the guys to know when they're working with that account, like this account's been closed, this account has special rates, or there's a special, or it's been on hold, or whatever. So you can kind of have alerts, and everybody instantly knows it's now closed. We're not driving for them anymore. Okay. Example client. Now, order number. is did you have order numbers and
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it does have order
Okay.
number on the
Yeah.
invoices.
now what's nice about this is it's just an easier way to look up the labels. So the example I always use is, let's say Samsung is sending or somebody buys a phone from Samsung. Now that guy has an order number from Samsung, and Samsung is sending the phone through you guys to to their clients. But now this guy doesn't know what the label number is because he didn't ask you to transfer the cargo. Samsung did. So all he has is the order number. So if he calls you and says, "Listen, I want to know where's my phone. I have this order number," then you can enter that there. Yes. Also, same with client reference number. That you guys can decide for yourselves. What do you want to do with that? The client invoice number. Okay, then that's what's going to be in there. Okay. Do you guys do direct deliveries where you
Yes.
pick up cargo from one location and directly to the final destination? It doesn't go through a warehouse. Do you guys do that? Not. Okay, but just so you understand, if you're picking up cargo from a collection point and then driving directly to the delivery point, the cargo doesn't come here first. So you can't check the cargo, you can't measure it. There's no verbal receipts or anything. It's pick up and delivery. Most of the time they use that for if somebody's moving and they want to rent a truck to move their furniture, is a good example for direct deliveries. Okay. And if you do that, it's going to remove this bit here at the bottom. Then, do you guys do imports from South Africa? Nothing. Okay. But also just so you know, if that button is there, if you are importing cargo and you want to include the VAT or include the import tax, you just click there. But like you said, you don't use that. Okay. The next thing that I don't think you guys had in IFMS 1 was usually you would say, for example, we want to pick up boxes at Greg's house. Okay. And he lives at 44.
Now the address.
Yeah, 44.
Like pickups for daily pickup.
Yeah, pickup. Well, collections, pickups, where the cargo is going to be on the label. Let's see. On the street. Euros. What happened now? On the street. Euros. Okay. Now, firstly, you'll notice that there's a red block, right?
Yeah.
Which is essentially telling you that the system doesn't know what you're talking about. If you enter the address correctly, you'll see that Windhoek, Namibia appeared there,
Yes.
meaning the system is like, okay, I recognize this address. I know this address is in Windhoek.
Yeah.
So instantly it's going to know, okay, well, this distribution center is here in Windhoek, the other distribution center is in Swakopmund or whatever, and it'll know how to properly route the
We're also having
truck.
people in Swakop.
Sorry?
We're also having people in Swakop.
Okay, so we're going to, in this example, I'll still transfer the stuff to Swakop. So let's say we want to send stuff to Swakop now. So we're capturing this label and we're saying the collection point is here in Windhoek. So the system knows, okay, we have to go collect it there. And we want to deliver it to, Greg's mom's house or something, which is street. What's a place in Swakop? I don't know. Mondesa. Swakop. Okay. And it also picks up, okay, we want to transfer that stuff to Swakop. Okay. But now, let's say Greg is a guy who's constantly sending stuff through us and he has an account with us. Now, we don't want to every single time retype that whole address from the label. We can say add, okay, and then add that address to the drop-down list, to a short list on his account. Okay. And then what it does is it adds that address
Yes.
to that drop-down list. So next time you're driving cargo for Greg, you just have to go
Yeah.
Greg's house,
Yes.
and it's captured. So the idea is it's faster to do it like that, and also it's more accurate because you only have to capture it once.
Yes.
And if you do it properly the first time, then it's going to be
It's
correct
in
every
there.
time.
Yeah.
If let's say that address is wrong and we want to change it, you can select it from the drop-down list and they say edit. And so let's say it's not 44, he's moved now. He's living down the street. 50, not down the street. It's changed. Two things to keep in mind with this. What the system does here is it looks for keywords. Like we tell it that Windhoek is a place, and we also tell it that the distribution center is here in Windhoek. If you accidentally misspell Windhoek, it's not going to understand what you're talking about. Also, if you don't put it in the proper postal address format,
Yes.
let's say you try and do something like this. It's also not going to understand what you're talking about because it looks street, area, Windhoek. You can, if you don't know what the street or the area is, you can just put in Windhoek, but we kind of prefer you put in the whole address because then
Yeah.
later on, with this IFMS, we also have dashboards. So we can, for example, show you on a map exactly where all your pickup points are. So, but that's something else. And for that to work, addresses need to be. Okay, so let's just do that, and there we go. Okay. Next thing you'll notice there's an include local collection and include local delivery. Now, let's say we are going to pick up the cargo at Greg's house, so we'll include local collection, and we're going to be delivering it to his mom's house. We say include local delivery. If he brings the cargo to us, obviously we don't do the collection. But now one of the situations we've picked up is, let's say we're sending the cargo to Soccermund. We don't know now if they're going to deliver it or if Greg's mom's going to come pick it up. So what I'd recommend in that scenario is always include local delivery so that the people on their side in Soccermund, if the client comes to pick up the cargo, they on their side can then untick local delivery because they know that it's not going to be delivered. Okay. Okay, that one is in use. Okay, just quickly, can I show you this? You'll see I put in the document number 001, and it immediately told me, listen, there's already a label like this. You can't use this label number. I need to use 002. You guys have pre-printed labels, no? Or does the system print out labels for you? Okay, you have pre-printed ones with label numbers on them.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be putting that label number in there. Yes. Okay, but it's a nice thing too if you guys are working together and somebody's accidentally also already captured a label to see that
Let's
that
say
label.
and what more if I capture a label wrong? That
What do you mean?
I end at 5 number instead of 6.
Okay, you can open it up again and correct it.
Is it?
Yeah. For example, let's quickly make that mistake. Let's just say save here. So it's great. Oh, it's not going to save it because it hasn't been routed yet. And you'll see that red block there at the top tells you the errors that's currently still on the page, and you have to remove all the errors before it's going to save.
Yeah.
So I can quickly show you that, but let's just quickly run through this. So next we want to add, you'll see the collection and the delivery dates. Those we're going to use later on when we start scheduling collections and scheduling deliveries. But right now it's not yet in effect. It's part of a module that you'll only be using later on. So let's say a client calls and says, listen, I want you guys to come pick up stuff on Saturday. I'll be there on Saturday. Then you can enter that on a collection schedule, or you can enter that specific date on the schedule. Let's say he wants you to come pick it up on Monday. And then on Monday, the dispatch manager can see, oh, these are all the collections that my guys need to do today. So how do you guys usually, you just receive the labels and then capture that? Nee. It's not like clients call here and say, do they?
They call me. We are even.
Okay. Okay, so that will then work for you guys. So if a client calls and says, listen, I want you to pick up that on that day, then you guys can use that dispatch manager on that day that, listen, these are the collections you need to do. Same with deliveries. If people want deliveries on a specific date, you can schedule the deliveries there and say, listen, but it has to happen on the 14th. We are working on a thing that will notify you, listen, these are your routes.
I think it will be good if we give you our schedule.
Yeah.
In the locality where we deliver, like Monday, Tuesday.
Yes.
Then to show on the system that the stuff will be delivered on this specific day.
We're working on entering that into the system so that, let's say the client says, listen, I want you to pick it up on Monday and I want you to deliver it in Swakopmund the next day.
Yes.
Then the system will tell you, well, that's not going to happen. It's the truck is only leaving here, it's only going to arrive there, and it will tell the client, this is when you're going to get your cargo. It's not going to be there on Tuesday, it will be there on Thursday or whatever. So that's something we're working on. Right now, it's of no consequence, but we're working on that. So just so you know what those fields are for. Okay. Next, we want to add, let's say Greg wants us to transport 5 boxes. Or give me an example, what kind of cargo? Pallets. Okay. Okay, let's make pallets. So wait. We have 5 pallets. Okay. And the dimensions of those pallets are 50. I don't know. What are the dimensions of pallets? And then it automatically calculates the volume, the volumetric weight.
Kgs.
Yes. So then you'll enter the kgs and say that's 200. Do you guys work with volumetric factors on some of your accounts? Not yet. Okay. Do you guys know what volumetric factor, what volumetric weight is?
Yeah. Weight, I think, for 4 times.
Yes? Do you guys know, or should I quickly explain? Okay. How can I put it? So let's say you have a truck, okay, and it costs you 1,000 rand to drive that truck. Okay, you want to make money with that truck. Now a truck, when you're loading a truck, it has 2 limits. It has volume, so you can only load so much volume onto the truck, but you can also load only so much weight. So in other words, for example, you can fill it up with feathers. It's going to weigh nothing, but it's going to fill up your truck. You can't put anything else in there. Or you can load like 1 or 2, of those granite blocks. The truck is basically going to be empty, but you can't load anything more because it's going to break the truck. Okay. So there's kind of a balance that you have to figure out. So you can't charge the guy driving feathers on kilograms because you're not going to make money. And you can't charge the guy who wants to transfer the granite per volume because you're going to charge him next to nothing, but your truck is full. You're still going to you can't load anything. Okay. So sometimes that doesn't make a lot of sense. So what they do is they use volumetric factor, meaning, let's say you load an entire truck full of feathers. It weighs 5 kilograms, but the volumetric factor for those feathers is 4,000. 4,000 is just the volumetric factor, what they use to multiply. So the formula will be the length, the width, those 3, length, width, breadth, times the volumetric factor, and you'll get an equivalent kilograms of 190 kilograms. Let's just turn that off. Okay, so it's basically an equivalent of the mass. And usually what people do is, or what transport companies do is, they prefer the highest of the two. So if you're driving feathers, the volumetric weight is 20 tons, then you use that, but it actually only weighs a ton. Or whereas you're traveling granite, the volumetric factor is next to nothing because it's so small, but the actual mass is 25 tons, then you use the actual mass. So it's kind of just there to protect the transporter of that weird thing. So what sometimes happens is that you have different accounts, and one guy moves feathers, one guy moves peanuts, one guy moves. So it's things of different masses, and you'll have different volumetric factors for each of those different accounts. And then I'll show you how to set up an account. But it will take the account's volumetric factor into account when it's using this. But like you guys say, you don't really use that. But it's
there
also
are some persons that like with only one. Maybe in that regards we might
chips. Exactly. So you have a whole pallet. It's taking up a whole pallet space, but it doesn't weigh anything. It's just air. Chips these days is much just air.
Tobacco.
Yeah, exactly. So you can do that. So okay, great. Then the actual mass is what you put in there, and then the declared value. Do you guys put in the declared value? Don't do cross-border stuff, so not necessary. Okay. If you do cross-border at any point, the declared value can go there, and it'll. Yes. So let's just say that box is worth 5,000. Okay. All those 5 pallets. Then the next thing to do is you say.
The invoice is always we are reading.
Oh, you do read in the
Yes,
value of
the
the
value,
invoice. So you do kind of want to know what's the value of the stuff that you're
but
driving.
it's costing.
Okay, so what's it?
Like CBs, they are always putting there.
Oh, on top there.
What now?
Their invoice amount.
They say like most like CB is one of our clients' name. So they are always putting the value of
The value of the cargo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you can enter there. So that's not what they're going to be charging. What we are going to be charging them to move the cargo. It's the value of the cargo.
Just in case even if the stock is lost, you know.
Oh yeah, you know what the damage is.
Yes.
Okay. So next thing to do is you say cost and route, and what that does is the system goes and it calculates the charge here at the bottom. So it calculates the charge. It takes into account, is it volume, is it weight, where is it going, is there collection, is there delivery, is there tax, all those things it will do in the rates. It takes into account and it instantly calculates what the charge should be for. So you don't have to sit with calculators or whatever. It also calculates, so let's just have a look at the charges. So in this case, it's 200 units, 200 kilograms, 414 each. That's the total. And you can also have here, if you want to manually change the charge. So, this is a weird label, and there was an agreement that you'll do this for 400 Rand or whatever. You can go and make that 400 and say save. And then the charge will be updated to 400. Also, if there's additional charges like collection or VAT or disbursement fee or fuel levy or transport or whatever, you can add additional fees. Let's say there's another fee.
Maybe like the one which Mr. Heng was showing.
Yes, that we're also gonna be adding automatically. So that will keep track of the fuel levels, the fuel price, and it'll adjust accordingly the prices automatically. Okay. So do you guys have any questions so far? Nothing. You on then?
The length, the width, the breadth.
Yeah.
You said you're gonna do that when you open up accounts, and so it comes automatically when you capture. So you don't need to read it anymore.
No, let's the volumetric factor. So the formula would be
But that does not. We are not using that
Yeah. So that formula that's here is essentially like this. So length times breadth times height divided by the volumetric factor. Okay, and that volumetric factor, that is what we'll be reading into the accounts. So this, the length, breadth, and height, is the cargo itself. But I don't think the people on the floor capture or read that in any way on the. It'll be on the Weibull. If they do capture it, it should be on the Weibull. But it'll do that calculation. Normally, you'd have to sit and do that times that divided by that, and you have to remember what the volumetric factor for that specific account is. Now the system does it all by itself. But I think it's a problem that you guys never had. Yeah. Anyway, so the system calculated the charges, and it also calculated the route that the cargo will take. So here we can see it's going to go from Windhoek to Windhoek Swakopmund, Swakopmund to Swakopmund local, and then it's going to deliver it from there. Okay, and you'll see as we go through the whole thing, there's arrival timestamps and departure timestamps. You can quickly see, okay, this is when it departed here, this is when it arrived there. So if a client calls and says, "Where's my cargo?" you can instantly tell them, "Listen, it arrived here on that date, on that time. It's still there, or it's departed. It'll be at your place soon." Whatever. Okay. Is there anything else that I want to show you here? No, not yet. Are there any additional references that you guys capture? It's the order number and the client reference number. Is there anything else?
The client, the delivery address will
Yeah, it's there. I know sometimes, or what we did is we have a thing where you can scan the Weibulls, the barcodes. What happened was there were TVs that they were transporting somewhere, and they were capturing with a scanner the barcodes of those individual TVs and placing them on the manifest. And then when the stuff got stolen, they could tell the police exactly those are the ID numbers of those individual TVs. But okay, just so you know, it is there, but we'll probably be putting in that later if we get the scanners. Okay, so basically I went into a lot of different things, but basically it's just capturing the Weibull, cost and route, and then you can say verify and receive. Now, the thing with IFMS 2 that is majorly different from IFMS 1 is you can't change states. Hold on, you can just say change state on floor or change state to that or go back and forth, whatever, and it didn't matter. With this one, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can, but only a manager can. So if somebody makes a mistake, it's kind of like, okay, this happened. We need to now. Put it back on floor. Yeah. So it kind of it enforces a exact procedure, and then if something weird happens, it falls outside that procedure. So the moment you say, okay, then it's fixed. Then you can't go back and change it. Also, the way we set up the security stuff is each user can only see and access and edit certain things. So let's say we have one person who captures Weibulls, and the next person is in charge of the floor. Only the first person can put the Weibulls there. The second person can't put Weibulls on the floor because it's not his job. Also, the second person can't open the floor because it's not their job. So it's, but that we can define later. We can see who needs to be able to access what. So we can exactly edit who can do what and where and everything. Okay, so let's say we're happy with that. We're sure that it's 100% correct. We want to receive that on floor in Windhoek. Okay, and you'll see the status there at the top has now changed to on floor.
Yeah.
Here at the bottom, at tracing, you can see that Chris Emerton has received that Weibull at the facility in Windhoek on that date. So also, again, if a client calls and says, what's going on, you can tell them, listen, it's there. It's been received there on that date. Okay. So the next thing is now the label's on floor. And usually what will happen is you can go to the freight floor status. And let's see, this stuff is going to Swakop Munt. It breaks up the floor. Now this is more their department. Do you guys work with a floor dashboard, with a floor status, or not? Not really. Do you? Okay. So this floor status breaks up your warehouse in your different routes. So you guys have different bins there outside, and it will break it up accordingly.
Yes.
Which is nice for two reasons. If you guys want to do, who does floor checks? Is that their job or also? Okay, well, this simplifies that as well. I'll show them how to do that. But let's say we want to now load the create the checklist, the picking slip for the cargo going to Swakop Munt. You guys do that now. They do that as well. Okay, but let's just quickly run through that process as well. So if they do that checks the picking slip, they can just simply go and say, listen, I want to load the cargo for Swakop Munt. Let's see what the labels are there. Those are the labels. That's the one that we just loaded. We can see it's on floor. Select it and or select the whole route and say, print that pick slip for me. And then they can hand that to the pickers outside to load that. Now they come back with a pick slip to you to do the manifest. That's the process that you guys have as well. Okay, so they go out, they do the picking, let's just open this just so I can show you. Three. Okay. So this is the picking slip, and what they'll do is they'll go pick up load the 5 pallets. Right there, we've loaded 5 pallets. Check, it has been picked. Comment, there's a chip missing, or there's a box missing, or the pallet is damaged, or whatever, so that everybody knows this. Yes. And then that they bring back to you guys. So, and from this you capture the manifest. Yeah. So you have this in front of you when you're loading the manifest. We wanted to quickly, if you make a mistake with the weighable number.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just not forget that. We'll get back to that in a bit. But anyway, so you have this in front of you when you're making the manifest. And what you do here is, that's the weighable number. 2A. Okay. You go File, New, Transfer Manifest. There we go. Now we have 3 types of manifest: transfer manifests, delivery manifests, and collection manifests. You guys don't do the collection manifests yet, but it will be. It's part of the system, but it works exactly the same. The transfer manifest and the delivery manifest is what you're working with now. Okay. Transfer manifests are. Yes, exactly. And then the delivery one is.
When you are sending place.
Yes, exactly. So in this case, we want to do a transfer manifest to Swakop Munt, and then from there we'll do the delivery. Okay, so we want to do a transfer manifest. The document. Do you have transfer manifest numbers that you write out yourselves, or okay? So the system generates it for you. Okay, you can leave that blank. Document date is always today, so you can leave that. Organizational unit will always be Windhoek or wherever you're logged in, so you can leave that. Origin and destination, you'll see our red blocks, but for now you can also leave that out. I'll show you now. Just remember you have the picking slip here in front of you. So you just from that read in 2A and press enter, and then it loads the label for you. It also picks up the origin and the destination from this label. Some of the issues we get sometimes is that if you try to load cargo onto a manifest that's not going to the same place, it's not going to allow you. It's going to stop you and say, well, you're making a mistake.
Yeah.
So if you try and put something on here that's going to Agra or Uto or wherever, it's going to say, listen, this doesn't, what you're doing doesn't make sense. These trucks are going in different directions. So it'll then stop you. Also, if you want to remove a label, you just enter the same number again, and it removes. It says 2A. Okay. Then you can.
Excuse me.
Yes.
The removing of the label, that can only happen before you finalize.
Yes. The moment you finalize, you can't change it anymore.
Okay.
Yes, and you can't. A manager can't change it either. Once a label, a manifest is fixed because
Yeah.
it's been given to the driver. That's a final paper.
Yeah.
So you can't change that again. If you want to change it, you have to redo the whole thing and cancel that.
Receive everything.
Yeah. So that, please keep that in mind. You can't redo a manifest. Do you guys make use of other transport companies to transport cargo? Do you? Okay, who?
Like in the south, we are just delivering till Cape Mansour, not the transport. And
Yeah.
they take them further.
Yeah. So do they collect here?
No, we deliver.
You deliver to them.
them.
Okay. Do they ever come pick up here?
No.
Not.
Only,
Okay.
the only people used to come here south and Korea.
Yeah. So because, for example, let's say they come and collect the cargo here.
Yes.
You can select that courier drop-down list. So we'll load that onto there, and let's say Nampost is going to be collecting the cargo here.
Yeah.
You can create a manifest for them.
Yeah.
And when you select the courier there, it's going to bring that courier's drivers, co-drivers, and vehicles into the rest of the selection. If you're driving your own cargo, then you can just select the blank and then select your drivers and backup drivers. And when you say edit vehicles, you can select the horse and the trailer. Okay. And then you can say verify. And that's that. All the manifests work basically exactly the same. And it's just read in the label, pick a driver, edit vehicles, select your horse, select the trailer, okay, and verify. You can print. Let's just quickly print that out so I can show you. Oh. Okay, and then it prints out your manifest for you, and that you guys can give to the driver. Okay, so then close. Then the driver leaves. He goes and he does he drives to supplement. Okay. You say remember there to say verify. If you don't say verify there, the manifest will be open and they won't necessarily be able to capture the stuff in Swakopmund. Okay, so make sure you verify the manifest before giving it to the drivers.
It will appear on their floor check as well.
Yes, it'll still show on floor. Let me quickly show you this as well. If you refresh there, you'll see now the trace has updated. So it's received at facility Windhoek, loaded onto the transfer manifest, and it's departed. And also, if you look up that label here, you'll see Swakop has disappeared. There's nothing in the Swakop bay because it's been loaded onto the truck. So the next thing that will happen is that the labels will be received in Swakopmund. Okay, so let's just close all of this. So the truck will stop in Swakopmund. He'll give the picking slip to the manifest to the people there, and they'll start offloading the truck. And as they offload, they tick off, we've received this, and we've received this, and we've received this, and we've received this. And it'll work the same when you guys here. The truck will stop, he'll bring up the manifest, and the pickers will offload. And as they offload, they tick off on that manifest. Maybe can't. Okay, I can't open that again. They will tick off on the manifest. This is the stock that we've received. Yes, we've received 5 pallets. The stock is broken. They'll make the comments the same as with the picking slip, and then that final manifest, the signed manifest, they bring to you. Yes, and then you receive the labels. Okay, so to do a label receipt, the same file, new label receipt. So all the documents work the same. File new, that file new, label receipt. Okay, and to do a label receipt, maybe I should just do this. Let's just log in as Swakopmund. Okay. Usually you won't have to switch distribution centers. You'll almost just be logged in here. So now we're logged in as Swakopmund. We'll do file, new, label receipt, and we will say 001, 002, A. Here we go, that's the label, and we can just say verify. We've received that, and if we open this, you'll see that the cargo is now on floor. It's tracing, received as facility Swakopmund on that date. And if we go check the floor status in Swakopmund, you'll see that the cargo is there on our floor. And what do you guys do after this?
After that, after they deliver the labels, they have to send the PODs back to us.
Okay, but this is now, it's just been transferred.
It was Abraham who took the own.
Yeah, I understand them at Swakop, they can also do the same as we are doing. We are receiving address of labels. Or what?
Yeah, so in other words, let's say that the stock has now been transferred from Agra to here. We've just received the stock here.
Yeah.
Now from here, we want to do the delivery manifest.
Yeah.
And the same thing works from here. We do a pick list again. And then from that, we do a delivery manifest again.
Yeah.
So it's basically same process. Let's just quickly, you can print that. It's going to give us a picking slip. It's going to give us this picking slip. We give it to the pickers. They go pick and load it onto the truck. They bring that to us. We go create file new delivery manifest. We want to change the colors so it's easier, but we're working on it. And 002A, it's been loaded. This is the driver who's going to be doing that. Edit vehicles. That's the horse. That's the trailer. And we can say verify. Verified, if we check here, it's been loaded onto a delivery manifest. It's departed Swakopmund on the way to the client. And now the driver comes back with his POD, like you said. And this is where you guys scan in the, the label.
Yeah.
Now, different companies do that differently. What's the process that you guys have when you're receiving a label? Do you invoice first? Do you scan in and then invoice? How do you guys do that currently?
Send first, then invoice.
Then invoice. Okay. So what IFMS 2 does differently from IFMS 1,
Yeah.
if you want to scan a document to this label,
Yeah.
Or attach a physical document, attach a scan to this label, you just need to be open. The screen needs to be open on the label that you're working on,
Yeah.
and then you scan it in. And it automatically picks up, okay, this thing that you're scanning must have to do with this thing that you have open on your screen, and it attaches the two. And it just asks you, what do you want me to call this? So POD scan, is it a cross-border document scan? Is it a claim scan? What are you scanning? And then you guys can just say POD scan, and then it will appear here in this list. Yes. And then you can just, when you want to look it up again, just go click there and it'll bring it up.
Did you
So it's a claim, you must click on claim.
And what's it? The search of the labels all work exactly the same. So you'll search that label, and you'll be able to scan that. So if you receive the POD, you essentially go here, own search. I'm searching for a label, and what I did when I was doing this is, let's say you have a bunch of labels, so it's literally a stack like this. Then you go 1520, open it up. Next one. You open all the labels that you have in the stack, all next to each other in tabs like this, and then you start. You open the first one, check the label number, scan it in, save, close. Who's here?
Yeah, on this one, just it's a change. You have to have the label open.
Yeah.
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 Instead
Yeah.
of it asking you afterwards.
Yes. So you can open all the
Then they will
labels.
be in the queue.
Let's just, for example, do this. So you can open all the labels that you're going to be working on, okay? And then one by one, open it, scan it, and then say, okay, this is now not in the correct state, but say POD captured, close it. Next one, scan it, POD captured, close it, scan it. So it goes a lot faster than
Yeah.
scanning.
Wait for the one.
Not
Next.
scan.
Yeah, it goes a lot faster. What's it? And you can also see now how far you've gone and how far you still need to go. Okay, so let's just do this.
You don't need to capture those, like selecting this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a change, but you'll see it works better.
Yeah. Do you guys do the signature capturing before doing the scan? Okay, so you'll scan it, say POD imaged, okay, and then under POD capture the signature. Breaks. And invoice number. Do you do the invoicing later on only?
Right there,
After.
But they're
Okay.
invoicing, yeah.
And Omni, yeah, that's your Omni invoice number. It's supposed to go.
Yeah.
This time is not yet invoice.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
doesn't have,
But they
it
can
doesn't
give you
have to
offer.
be. You'll see there's a second invoice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So-
only needs to be in there. And
Yeah.
You know you're done with it.
Yeah.
Alright.
The other nice thing is, let's say you guys now want to do the invoicing.
Signature, you must put the client's name.
Or whoever signed. If you can make out.
Or the person who signed.
Oh, the
okay.
Yes.
person who receives the
Who
card.
signed the
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because or what now?
If there's no signature, appear.
Well, technically, if there's no signature on a POD, then it's not a POD.
Because normally we
Normally they
just
just
the
use-
signature.
The question
Yeah.
is there, what if a person didn't write out
He-
his
he-
name,
he-
just
he-
signed?
Sign it,
Just-
Yeah.
You
What-
wanna make it out.
What you do in that
Make it out.
That's
what you do in that case is you write out signature, meaning you've checked, you've checked, it has been signed, but you can't make out what the signature is. If there is no signature on a POD, you can't POD it. It's not a POD. It needs to go back, because otherwise
Signature.
a claim comes in or something.
Because nobody signed.
Exactly. Nobody signed, and now
For Woman Rock and Metro,
Yeah.
they only sign on the GRV.
Yeah.
Can I take that signature from the GRV? That
technically,
doesn't appear on the waiver.
technically,
Just a question.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very good received note, the GRV.
is it?
Yeah, if
That's-
they can
that's
be-
for my
Yeah,
dogs.
then-
If that's what they use.
Oh, they use a goods received note.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, then
Purchase
that's
order.
Yeah.
And we can pay.
yeah, no, then that's fine. Then you can use that
Alright. Just
in
a
that
question.
case. And then, but you still need to read that signature
Yes.
into there. Do you guys have another question with regards to this?
And we-
after we've already scanned it in the PO just captured,
Yes.
then they invoice us. are we and then after the invoice, should we repeatedly put in the same waiver and then put in the invoice number and when it gets invoiced?
Yes. But I'll quickly explain how that works. Do you guys have a question?
Yeah, I'm asking,
Yes.
the POD, the POD
Mhm.
coming from the shop,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have a GLV.
If they
We have
signed,
to scan it and then we send it back to the.
No, you are not allowed to scan something which is incomplete.
I would recommend, actually, I would recommend if they do send it back and it's not been signed, scan it in so you have a record that it has not been signed, but don't put in the signature. Click the POD has been capped. No. Was it? Yeah, it's not
Because
about.
just leave it like that, it must be sent back.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's a difference between POD captured and delivered.
Yeah, but the POD hasn't been captured because it's not a POD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only if you put. and
So
if
you'll
you
save
say
it,
POD
you'll scan it
captured,
in.
It's gonna ask for the signature.
You'll scan it in and you can say save. Okay, but don't say POD captured because it has not. It's not a POD.
It will be there.
The scan will be there. Yes, but it's still the system.
Scan it on
Yeah,
the
you
same-
can still go back.
And rescan it. Yes,
Okay.
you can remove the previous scan, put in a new scan, or just scan the new one.
But just in case you lost it, then you
Yes.
have
You're
to
having,
go back.
you're
Yes.
having the backup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, in this system, you have multiple. If you go to the document, scan document.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can have multiple scans there where you can say before delivery, after delivery, and you can give it a description and say, yeah, we delivered it, but there's
Yeah.
no signature, so it's sent back.
Yeah, stuff like that. So instead of saying POD scan, you can say Weibull scan, but it was not. The signature is missing, or you can put in a whole description there explaining what the problem is. But yeah, then it will have to go back and it needs to be signed. But that's usually a bit of a mission because now you're driving a truck all the way there with just like a piece of paper for delivery. But anyway, so now when you guys are doing the invoicing, how do you guys do the paper? Meaning, what's it? Do you guys capture them and then physically take the pile of paper and give them to the people doing the invoicing and then they do the invoicing from that, or how do you do
We
that?
normally invoice. We capture after it's POD captured,
Mhm.
then we hand it over to the invoicing clerk.
Yeah.
And then they do it by client by client. After they're done, then
Yeah.
they deliver it by the client.
So you invoice by client.
By
Yeah.
clients. Yeah.
Okay. Because what you can do now is you can actually, and we'll just have to decide if this is how you want to do it. I know a lot of some of our other clients can do this, but they've decided to keep with the physical. So we can decide if this is how you guys want to do it. But what you can do is, let's say you want to do the invoicing for a specific client.
Yeah.
So you say, I want to do a Weibull search,
Yeah.
and I want Weibulls that are POD captured. Okay, so I want all the Weibulls
Yeah.
that we have that are in a POD captured state.
Is it not, is it not supposed to be scanned because the one which is already in delivered and scanned is in our POD capture? Because normally when it's coming in is what we used to call it
Capture and then scan, so we name it now scan documents.
See, POD.
Huh?
No, it's just POD captured. If the POD's been scanned in, then it's POD captured.
So, and the
Yeah.
one which are not yet, they are like pending.
Oh, so that one will be
The one that's not-
POD received or what when we receive.
Yeah, if it's going out to the client,
It comes back.
it's on delivery.
Yes.
If you just put in the signature
Yeah.
and you don't scan in the Weibull, it's delivered. We know it's delivered, but we haven't scanned in the POD yet.
Okay.
Only once we scan in the POD, then it's POD. Yeah.
Capture.
And the reason why we did that is at some point we want to give the drivers a way to say, I've delivered this. So they go out and they say, this Weibull I've delivered, and then it changes it to delivered. In this scenario, we've basically skipped the delivered and gone directly to POD captured.
Okay.
Yeah, you understand?
Because the previous one was showing like finalized POD.
So in this case, it'll be POD
Yeah.
captured.
There's a news, 1 or 2 extra steps in the news.
Okay, no, it's
Yeah.
fine.
I'm gonna
Only, technically, the thing is only completely handled once you put in the Omni invoice number and said it's invoiced.
Okay.
so now it's POD captured, and the next step is to have it invoiced.
So you can go, whoever's invoicing can go and look for all the things that are POD received and go and invoice it and add the invoice number and then,
I said, if they already finished invoicing on Omni, they have to go back to Inga and put in the invoice number
Numbers, yeah.
in that
Yes.
area, so that you know that if,
The
Okay.
client,
if the
is
client
serious
say,
about
we
it.
didn't receive this thing, then you just say,
Then
we
you
will
just-
invoice
yeah.
them, invoice number.
yeah, then you don't need to go to the whole file.
You look for files and things, you just go in the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's the Omni
Yeah.
invoice number.
Yeah.
It's good for them. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
better, yeah.
Now, in the previous one, you guys were like at the beginning saying, once you can also invoice from Indilinga to Omi. Like
We are still
importing.
going to look at that. That
Okay.
is something we want to do, but it hasn't been,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
not our priority. Unfortunately, we want to do that. We
Because I have done it also. So we used to use Orange accounting name,
Hmm.
and it's importing to Pastel.
Yeah.
Invoicing
Now, the
while
problem
they
is
volunteer
you are
so
the
they can
only
see that I'm
people
busy
using
invoicing.
Omni. All our other clients are using Pastel. So quite frankly, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do Pastel first.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, because the
you're
moment
probably
I'm
gonna have
invoicing
to
here,
pay
then the
if we
people
want
at
to
TNT
make
they can
a
see that I'm
Omni
busy invoicing.
Yeah.
using Omni.
Import.
So let's say you want to sit and do the invoices for a specific client now. Okay, so you've now said I want all the wayables that are in a POD captured state, okay, that we have the POD for, and I want to do it for where's the accounting order number?
As
Consignment.
they know, you'll have to say consigned.
Is there no document reference? Client reference number.
Consigned.
Greg. And then you can select the wayable from the list.
Why did it?
So what's it? There's salons that can base it. Of there's
Yeah,
eintlik salons
ons-
dat is.
Why did it give you all of this other stuff? Oh, even though you added Greg.
Yeah.
Because the consigner defaults to the account name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can add all of that.
Okay. So essentially, what you'll be able to do is say, I want to do the the invoices for that specific account, and then it will bring up all the wayables that that we've received the POD for that account. So let's, for example, then open up that one, and then you can go to the scan documents, and you can see the invoice in front of the POD in front of you. You don't have to actually work from the pile of documents. You can open them all like that, open, and then check under scan documents for the signature and for the billing information, and then directly do the invoice from that. So you don't have to work with a pile of documents anymore, but let's just talk to, what's it? Yeah, and find out if you guys want to do it like that. It reduces the amount of paperwork tremendously. Yeah. So now the system kind of controls the flow of information. You know that you can invoice something once the POD has been captured, so you just go and say, give me everything that is POD captured. And then basically, if this list here is empty at the end of the day, you know that you've invoiced everything that you can for that day. And as people do POD captures, that list is going to get longer, and as you invoice, that list is going to get shorter. So you can see exactly what you need to do. And if a file paper gets missing or it's gets lost or whatever,
whereby we used to invoice a minimum weight. In that case, how would we?
there will be, it's in the rates.
In the system and the rates tables, you can set up a minimum charge.
Yeah.
So that when you if you have to at least ship 5 kilograms, you can set it up in the system.
Yeah.
So even if you're shipping 1 kilogram, they'll charge you for 5 kilograms.
Yeah.
And rate tables does all of that.
Yeah, but the rate tables, only you do the rate tables. Okay, I'll show that to you because it is very complicated. And
Opening new accounts.
Yeah.
Like you are having new localities.
I can maybe quickly show the new accounts as well. That's quite straightforward. The
The
rate
rate
tables.
tables also, it's gonna be one formula, one way of doing it that you can copy and paste.
Oh ja, so hulle goeders is eenvoudig.
And goed,
Okay. So yeah, so now we've invoiced. Let's say we're not going to go do the invoice for this label. Let's just close all this other crap. We have that label, POD. We do the invoice. We put in the invoice number, NV0014. Okay, we put in the invoice date. Say it's been invoiced on today, and we say invoiced. The POD number. POD date. Sorry, the POD date is the date on which it's been delivered, and invoice date. Okay, so invoiced. Do you guys do a final check before sending it to for payment?
What do you mean?
Taking
I mean, after the invoice, after you've invoiced
Before
it.
before I create the invoice.
Yeah.
I have to check by myself, going
Yeah.
through to every invoice numbers.
Yeah.
Is the invoice number correct? The unit price?
Yeah.
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 That it can be
Yeah,
matched,
yeah,
corresponding. Then I click it. I can't go back. Otherwise, if I make a fault, I have to make a credit note again and
Yeah.
do it again.
okay. So there's not another step where somebody double checks everything.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because we can also do that where, in this case, there's a finalize button. So you invoice it, and then somebody else double checks, but
Yeah.
it's
No, it's fine. It's
so
not-
that
yeah.
the functionality is there, but it's up to you to decide. This is want to. We can change the process according to how you guys do your work. Okay, so I'm just gonna go and finalize. Okay. No. Okay. Then the next thing is you guys do POD handovers. Do you guys make out the POD handovers as well?
No, POD and over is when you are invoicing from that system. We don't do that.
Sorry.
POD and over, we don't do it because we don't invoice from Indilinga to.
Oh, so you do a POD
I
handover.
work from Omni.
So Omni gives you a POD handover.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So it's not
Not
necessary.
Indilinga.
Okay. No, then that's fine.
because I have seen it with LTT, they used to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, so Agra does not do POD
No,
handovers.
what it
Swakop
does is
Moon.
only capturing and hand it over to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the system can also do is, let's say you make a bunch of deliveries in Swakopmund.
Yes.
Those PODs
Mhm.
now need to come to Windhoek.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you want to keep track of where that stuff is.
Yeah.
Okay. So what the system can do is, let's say we want to transfer PODs from Swakopmund to Windhoek.
Yeah.
And you can go and create
Yeah, I think it's good for them.
a POD handover manifest.
Okay.
So they take all those labels and they put in the
I
POD.
think Andrika, yeah, they will like it
Yeah,
for their
it's a
breakers.
Yeah, and then they can also do it every
POD
week.
handover.
Yes.
Yeah. So they scan all the labels onto a POD handover, and then they send that to you, and then you receive the POD handover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all it basically does is it's just a cover sheet. So you have a pile of
Yeah, and then
labels.
you check if everything is there.
Exactly.
There's not something missing.
So you don't have to do that in Excel anymore.
Then we scan.
Yeah. If you actually have, we're gonna try and give you guys barcode scanners. So if you want to make that file,
Easier.
it's literally
Quicker,
just
quicker.
scan,
Quicker copy on the system, yeah.
and there we go. Okay. Is there any
I
other
think
questions?
it's because we are like now getting pains
Yeah.
from South Africa where everything will be scanned from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah. The shipment will be scanned from the receiving when they are. Then you don't need to capture it again. if they bring it up, can we still?
What now when you have to capture your waybill information. It all depends on what you're talking about. Are you gonna have a branch over there, and then you guys like you have a food and stuff.
Yeah, it's stuff like consignment papier, reply. Huh? Reply. They actually name it from continuous paper.
Continuous paper.
Is that for food?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think we'll be only using that Vuto, like a pellet. We won't use pellet anymore. We'll be using those things.
as bags. Okay, we'll just have to speak about it.
Yeah.
The bags from where?
From South Africa. But I think those people, they are in other system.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but where is it? The bin, are you just getting the bins from South Africa and you're gonna use it over here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you're gonna, it's basically, you must just check it out. You're gonna build a pallet, it's like a pallet build.
Yeah.
We just have to check that.
We sal die ons gaan nou nog nie die individual packet scanning doen nie.
No, they first need to get scanners.
Okay, now
all
then-
kinds of stuff to.
Yeah. What we want to work towards is if, for example, stock's being received or stock comes through the hole, then they're gonna have scanners where they scan each parcel, and when all the parcels on a pallet has been received, it automatically receives that on floor. So you guys don't have to do the floor waybill receipts anymore. But that's down the line. Right now, you can do the waybill receipts like I showed you. Is there anything else? Any questions that you guys
We
have?
also capture RTS.
RTAs.
Yeah.
And what is
Return
that?
to sender.
They, I think I've
Return to senders, as far as I know, is a new waybill. So it's
Yeah,
you're
that-
sending
that is
stock from
something they
here.
need to mark it.
But those
Yeah.
ones, they used to be captured separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must just check. I did do something like that. There is something like that. It's a bit different, but I must just.
So it's a state.
You still need to
And yeah, there's a flag tipe ding op die ding. Ek kan dit sien daar gaan 'n paar van.
Okay, maar dis nou nog nie hierdie
I
deployment.
must just check. Yeah,
Okay.
it's probably not there.
So probably how it's going to work is you're going to flag that waybill as a return to sender, and then it's going to
No, that's hard.
and then you're going to create a new waybill to send back. So it's going to get a new waybill number, and you're going to write out a new waybill, and it's going to go back to the sender, and you're going to have the previous waybill as a reference.
And we're also having.
So essentially, you are now the sender. You are sending the cargo
Yeah.
to them.
We're also having return to sender from all the Agra branches where they are
Yeah.
sending stuff back from them.
And they capture waybills at Agra.
Yeah. No, we are capturing here.
Okay, so at Agra, I know with
The
Wuto,
branches like Railboat, Tavi, Uchibarum.
Yeah.
They used to send stuff back to their main branch in
I see.
with our driver.
So they write out a waybill for it to come back.
Yes, under what must we capture such waybills?
When the waybills, when you get the waybills here, let me just
Yeah.
quickly ask: are there people at Agra who capture waybills?
No, they don't capture.
They just write out.
They just
No,
I'm
the
not
Agra-
referring to the Agra in Windu. I'm referring to the branches
Oh,
where they are sending us return to sender.
okay. So the Agra branches,
Yeah.
when they send it back,
Yes, they
Where
send
does
it
the
to the
cargo
waybill.
go?
Yeah.
where does
Yeah.
the cargo go?
First it comes straight
Yeah,
to the
to
table.
us.
Yeah,
Then we send it to the
Yeah, so when the
Yeah.
car
Yeah.
gets here with the wagon.
yeah.
yeah. The first point that the cargo reaches where people are capturing waybills, that's where you capture the waybill.
Yeah.
So
like-
let's say, for example,
Mm,
they say return to sender and the cargo comes here first.
Yeah.
Then you guys capture the return waybill.
yes.
Or in a scenario where, let's say, they send the cargo to Agra
Mhm.
and it gets there,
Yes.
then it's Agra's responsibility to capture the return waybill.
They don't.
Yeah, we're just saying if it happens.
If it happens. Same thing if the cargo goes to Swakopmund first
Mhm.
and you guys receive it there first, it's their responsibility to get to the return
Yeah,
label.
but it's coming here to us.
Yeah. Now in that
They are
scenario,
recording it in the book. They are bringing us here.
Yeah.
For capturing. Must I capture it as normal waiver or should I capture it under something else?
no, it'll
That's
be
my
a
question.
normal label.
Alright.
It's a normal label, and it will just refer to another label which is flagged.
But they
as-
don't refer, that's the thing. They
As
don't refer to the waiver. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
you don't need to, you can add it as a reference, but it will be optional.
Yeah.
You just say it, it's a return to sender.
So
I just
I
want
guess-
these things on the floor status, and
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to be able to
Yeah.
specifically just look at the return to sender.
Yeah, because
and everything.
it's not
Okay.
supposed
And
to appear
damaged
on
goods,
the.
yeah, that's the other thing we're gonna do, you
Yeah.
can mark
Mm,
a
yeah.
label as damaged.
That is what I'm
so,
referring
you know,
to.
so-
Sometimes they used to send only those cooler box.
Yeah.
Those specific stuff that they are getting from the
Yeah.
branches.
Okay. Now you'll capture a new label and you'll flag it as it's a return to sender or it's but when we get that, I'll come in
Because
for
we are
another.
like getting it every day.
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
just
I want
make
to
sure
ask
that's
you, I
something
have a
else
question.
to check out, but.
Yeah.
Was busy with. I must just make sure.
No, so we'll just show you
I have
that.
a question.
Yes.
Is there maybe a way where we can like specifically mark those? Because we have waivers which are coming with stop loss.
Damages.
So
All of those things, yeah.
where we can just say, I want now to like print the list of all the waivers which we are having
Problems.
shortages.
Yeah.
But then we have like when we are scanning, we have like to mark every waiver which is having a short
Or damage.
or a damage. Then maybe at the end of
And
the
the
month,
report get, yeah.
Yeah.
the report of
Just come-
all
Yeah,
the
we can-
damages
yeah,
and
yeah.
all the shortages.
Yes, we
It's
can.
possible.
So like hashtag damaged.
Yeah, I'll just add this flag
Yeah.
that you can add multiple, so it can be, you can mark it as a RTS waiver, and then you can say, or you can say it's a damaged goods waiver.
Yeah.
But it can be both our return to sender and a damaged goods.
And
Yeah.
stock which was never delivered, but everything is lost.
Yeah,
Should also,
yeah,
Come
so
on.
you'll have incomplete waiver.
yeah.
So you'll have a couple of flags that you can add on the waiver, and then we can
Yeah.
report on
Because
everything that's flagged.
sometimes it's very difficult for us. Showing on the frost data while the stuff is gone is lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we have to explain to Mr. I,
Yeah.
while it's not even our duty to.
Yeah. Other stuff
No,
is
we'll be able to do that. and we'll be able to-
Even himself, he can like say,
I
want
can
at the
see
end
here.
of January, I want to
Then you
say,
can just
I want to
go
see
in
how
search
many
and
stuff
check
were
by
lost
yourself.
in the
Yeah.
warehouse.
Yeah.
and-
without
Yeah.
coming and say,
Yeah, then you come out and say, no, I look for the things, but you can just go in. Look for it.
Yeah.
I will just sort that out.
Because it's
Matter
being,
of
it's
urgency.
making our work difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to explain, you don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Because you are not part of the warehouse, but people who are working in the warehouse, they know.
Yeah.
They wait for 3 months after.
Yeah.
Yeah, but me, I'm getting everyday mails.
Yeah.
Tell me the status for this project. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't work in the warehouse.
Yeah,
we are having
that's the
waivers
problem. You
here.
have to have
Waivers,
a
but
warehouse
the stock is
person
gone.
that's responsible for the warehouse.
Yeah.
Must answer the queries.
Yeah.
We'll speak to him about
Yeah.
the structure of how it works. You know, the floor status, he mustn't come to you if there's something wrong with the floor status.
Exactly.
He must go to the warehouse.
Because these people who is
Yeah.
supposed to check the things,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
And also if you guys now get a query like that, that tracing is very useful in answering those types of questions.
Yeah, just one. Now, if you don't have a column whereby you are like, they print out just for stock take or if
Yes.
they are doing stock take in the warehouse, then we know exactly that the
That's
stock,
floor status.
the stock take for this date was successful. Or there was some stuff
Oh,
which
you
we
want
lost.
to-
Oh,
No, we have nothing.
No, we don't. don't have that. But
If you want things like that, we can all list it and we'll approach
Yeah,
Link with
I
it,
would like
because
to
if
have
it's-
one.
Yeah, yeah,
Because-
the problem is that if you're the only people, if it's something specific for you, we're going to charge you for.
So you
But the
have
front-
to,
The frost data is also fine because we are printing
So
them
make a
frost
list
data.
of things.
Yeah.
Then they
we
can
want
communicate on the frost.
We can discuss.
Yeah, so you
it
guys
with
print
them.
the flow chips.
Yeah, then
Okay.
they can just mark what was the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I
What-
want to ask for instance,
Mhm.
since after we make the manifest, I won't be able to check what's on the floor, what's left. That's supposed to be on the picking slip. Only the manager can. How?
You don't have access to that.
Now we'll give you access.
Oh,
We should have, you should
What do
have
you
access
mean?
since The managers are always there.
Sometimes they are not.
Yeah.
They must have access to that.
So you want to see what's on
What's
the,
left here?
Always left.
yeah, no, you'll be able to see.
Sometimes old stuff is still standing there. You know?
Yeah.
And-
Yeah. So, but you guys do the picking slips. You guys create the picking slips.
No,
Is the okay?
very best.
Let me just quickly show you. I believe you will be able to. Let's just switch to Vintex. You'll be able to see this. You'll be able to see what's on floor, because you can't actually change anything here. You can print picking slips, but that's about it. When you want to do a floor check, so you want to check your entire floor, you can do that per bin or per route, and say, listen, we quickly want to check the coastal route if everything is there, and you can just select that and say print, and it prints everything on the coastal route. So you can give it to that guy and say, listen, go check there.
Yeah.
You can also just, if you want to do complete warehouse check, you check all the routes, you print that, and it'll print per page. So in other words, it'll print all the coastal stuff on one page, all the looted. So you can you go check that, you go check that, you go check that, and each person has a responsibility to check, and they tick off the stuff is here, and they make their comments on that. Yes, and those documents you can maybe bring together and file. Floor check was successful or it was unsuccessful, or something like that.
The good thing is maybe for us to file it.
Yeah.
For our backups.
Yeah, so on that day we did not have the
And
stock.
the shift supervisor should sign that I have received this from Pingy on this specific date, and I have verified that the stock which appear here remain in the
No, let's
Then
quickly
you answer that.
actually.
So sometimes the things just disappear without
So the use. You are the
No, we are talking about the stuff which used to be say behind in the paper showing for weeks and weeks on the frost data, and at the end of the day we must explain.
Just quickly want to print out a pick slip. Floor check. Okay, so this is what the floor check will look like.
Yes.
And at the bottom there should be no, there's not. Okay, but yeah, you can also conduct the signature field, right? So we'll just add a signature field here at the bottom, and then so the each person will sign his route and say, I've checked this stuff, sign, and then the warehouse manager or the dispatch manager signs and says, I've checked this with him, everything's fine. Okay. Close all. Anything else? Reports. What reports do you guys use at the moment? Weibull reports, POD outstanding reports, stuff like that. Do you use that
Yeah.
at the moment?
POD not received.
Okay.
POD outstanding.
Sometimes when
Yeah.
There's management report.
Yeah.
Whereby it shows the whole month outstanding, and there's the one that way you can specify for which client you want to check.
So in IFMS 2, we did it slightly differently.
Yeah.
There's two ways to check it. Either you can, go and search for specific things. So listen, show me the POD captured or the POD received, and it's going to bring it up here.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you just want to find out what it is, you don't necessarily want to print a report or want a full report. You just want to get to the Weibull.
Yeah.
You can use the search. Also a thing to note is, let's say you're working with delivery manifests, and you'll see if a delivery manifest is closed, it means that all the Weibulls on the delivery manifest has been captured, and then it will automatically close. So if it's all still verified or open or something like that, it tells you, listen, there are PODs still on those manifests that haven't been received. Same thing with the transfer manifests, if they are all open or verified, it means that it has not been those labels haven't been received at the next. Yeah, with the transfer manifest, it's about have they been received or not. With the delivery manifest, it's about have they been POD'd or not. Okay, so if you just want to get to the label, you can use the search. But if you want to do reports, under reporting, we have a driver trip report, manifest report, label report, and a POD outstanding report. So let's, for example, say POD outstanding report, and then we have filters here at the top. So you can say the specific date range, the specific accounts for who you want to do the POD outstanding, and you can say, give me the result of my search by account or by label states. So in this case, let's say we want to do by label states, and you'll see it gives you the POD outstanding report. Usually it'll be in transit, on delivery, delivered, but we haven't received the POD yet.
Yes.
The POD outstanding report only shows you in transit and delivered. That's when we want to see the POD. If it's still on floor, it's fine. It's not an outstanding POD. Only when it's in transit and when
Or
it
it
is.
is also meaning it don't show any models on floor anymore.
No.
Outstanding.
Yeah, because
No.
now they do. They
Now
take
they
care
do,
of
yeah.
so
Yeah, appears as outstanding.
Yeah, no. It's only when the stock has left the warehouse, meaning it's in transit or it's on delivery, or when it's been delivered, but we haven't scanned in the POD. So in most cases, let's say the truck is left and it's on delivery. If a label is on delivery, go and contact the driver, find out maybe it's still in his truck or something like that. If it's been delivered, it's most probably here somewhere under a desk or something like that. It's still in a pile. It needs to be scanned. Yeah. And then in that case, you can go and find that. You can also do an Excel export. So let's say you have formulas or something that you want to run, or you want to give a report to someone. You can print out the Excel export, and it's going to give you in an Excel format. Let's just do label report. Now the label report is basically the same as the POD outstanding report, and you'll see it has the same filters here at the top. It also by account and by label, so it's basically the same. The only difference is it shows you all the labels in all the states. So for example, let's say we want show us the labels in their different states: in transit, into depot, transfer, and invoiced. So let's just make this Vintuk so we can see a bit more information. No, it's the same. So you can see all the cargo, all the labels that are in transit, all the labels that are on inter-depot transfer, and all the labels that have been invoiced. Yeah. If you want to see it by accounts, you can just say, and then you can see, okay, there's that. So if a guy, if in a specific account calls you and say, listen, what's the situation with my account? You can just say, listen, there's your labels. That one is into depot transfer. That one's already been invoiced.
Yeah.
This is where your cargo is. Yeah. Then manifest report. Filtered by, you'll see the filter system works basically the same on all our reports. So filter by, do you want to see the cargo that's been driven by specific couriers? Like you want to follow up, has this stuff been delivered or whatever on a specific account? You can select that by a specific courier. You can select the courier and then do a search on that. You can search what drivers have delivered what, when, and then filter by horse, by drivers, routers, or couriers, and it will give you the report accordingly. But I think this is more useful for them.
Are we still loading the driver on the flight management, or do we load one here?
Hein, die fleet manager gaan ons gaan die drivers in die trokke deurtrek van fleet manager af, nee.
You can actually add them manually
Easy.
in the system. You don't have to.
Because there are some drivers that we don't have anymore, which are still appearing on the.
Okay, yeah, now we can remove it. Yeah. You can import from Fleet Manager, but you can also manage everything yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, who does that? You. Okay, we'll
But
go
I
through that as well.
basically don't really even use Fleet Manager. I need to capture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
As far as I know, they don't even use the other capabilities.
okay, so Fleet Manager is essentially going to fall away.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you guys decide to actually use it.
Is
And same applies with addresses that we captured wrongly. Can you
Yes.
also remove it?
Okay, so let's say you've captured an address incorrectly. There are two ways to fix that. The one way is, let's say you've created now a new label, and let's just open that account again. So example account to bring up that account, and then on the drop down menu you can select here and say edit, and then you can change it there. Is the one way. The other way is
If I edit it and then it just stays the correct address, then I don't need to delete the other one, the previous one or the right one.
if you say edit, it
Because-
replaces.
Okay. then
Yeah,
replace
it replaces the other one. So that's the one way to do it. The other way is under when you search up the account that you want to work on. So let's say we want to search for account. There we go. And the account number I think was 001. No. You can search by account number or account name. Search, there we go, example client. You can open up the account, and here you can also, here's all the addresses. So the default ship from address and the default ship to address will appear here, and you can change that there. So these are all the addresses that's been captured on that account. You can change it just by double clicking and then editing those specific fields. And you can also here define when you, let me just quickly show you. When I entered example client there, it automatically brought up this. The first addresses that I've captured, it automatically brings up that. But here I can edit, I can change which addresses automatically appear when I enter. So if it's account you guys use regularly, you can say here the default ship from address is that, the default ship to address is that. So that next time you just enter the account name, it'll automatically appear there, and it'll automatically appear there to make it a bit faster. Yes. Anything else? Let me quickly run through the account creation. So let's just close that. If you want to create a new account, it's exactly the same when creating any other document. Let's create new account number. Now the account number should be the same as the Omni account number. As I understand, you do the background checks and the credit checks, and then you create the account number. Omni?
Okay, so the Omni one should correspond to the other.
Yes, the account numbers should be the same.
And just need the end.
Yeah, so you enter that account number from Omni there. So let's just say, I don't know how your account numbers look, Omni 500. Account name, 2. And here is where you edit the alerts. So if you want to say, listen, account is on hold, that is where you can enter that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that it will bring up when you work on a label there. Okay. Is debtor, is creditor, is internal account, you can select to say, listen, but we drive cargo for these people, or this is an internal account, don't charge that because it's internal. You're not going to be charging yourselves for driving your own. Yeah. And then this is where you can change the addresses. You can also, and this is actually useful when you have 5, 6, 7, 8 depots all across the country or all across the world. You can have the telephone numbers here of that client as well.
Yeah.
So you can keep track of the contact details of your clients here. and then instantly everybody knows who to contact if there's something wrong with this account. So it's not, you don't have to call back and forth finding out what's this client's email address, what's this client's telephone number, we need to talk to him, whatever. You can put in the telephone numbers directly there if that is a problem. Same contacts, first name, last name, email, telephone number, fax, ID number, and then the applicable rates we'll talk about later, but this is where you assign a specific rate table to the account. So they can have, I don't know how your rate structures work, but you can assign a specific rate table to that account. So you don't have to have a rate table for every single account. You can have one rate table that applies to 100 accounts. Which makes it a bit easier. Okay.
But
It's difficult because
Most
the
our
rate,
clients, they are having
different
different.
rates.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
I'll have a look at how your rate tables work, but it should be quite straightforward. Anything else that you guys are wondering about? Nothing.
So when are you going to install in our computer?
Hein is setting up the servers now, and then we'll just wanneer gaan ons install op hulle
Ons kan maar maandag gaan doen.
Yeah, we'll be installing on Monday. And then you guys have till Wednesday to play around, see. Kan ons eers 'n demo database live vir hulle?
Nee, dat kan speel, ek sal net weer skoonmaak.
Yeah, so for those 2 days, you guys can create a few labels, transfer it back and forth, see, and then we'll just clean it up, just to make sure you guys completely understand.
Yeah.
Another thing we have here, ons gaan nou net nie met die dashboards. Yeah, I'll show the dashboards later. But what we also have here is a let's just remove, is a help desk, where we have video tutorials on each step in the process. So here you can say, I want to know more about labels, show me how to capture floor status. We're in the process of recording all of these. So if you can't remember quite, you can have a look at that and just play back the YouTube video again. We also have terminology. So if you want to know exactly what does it mean, collection, captured, transferred, ready for invoicing, what does it mean if we say something is POD captured? You can also search there and say, POD, show me everything about PODs, and it'll give you the terminology. Explanations, we have short slideshows, also about how the whole process fits together. You can go look at that if you want to see the big picture. And then common errors, like sometimes you'll have something like a too long. Then you can quickly go check here what's happening and what should I do about it. So it'll give you the reason. For instance, IFMS stopped working. It'll give you the reason why that's happened, and it'll give you the solution. What should I do about it? Yeah. And also, you guys can, if you get one of these errors, you can also contact us directly. You'll have all our telephone numbers. So yes, and then we also have quick support. So if we want to log in, remotely to your computer and quickly help you out, you can just click on quick support, and we'll be able to with TeamViewer.
Yeah.
You probably all have TeamViewer already installed. Yeah. So if you don't, you can just click there, and then it'll download TeamViewer for you. And that is about it. Yeah. So if there's anything else, any other questions? We covered the whole process. There's not something I missed. Okay, good.
we will just ask Guy if we maybe misunderstood. We will just ask Guy.
Yeah.
He's every time they do.
You can ask me, but Christian is actually the first one.
Yeah. I'll be available if you guys have any issues. Yeah. You guys don't work midnights, because then I won't be available.
It does.
Yeah. Right.
Schedule. They call schedule.
Yeah, I've tested